In 1975, Australia witnessed one of the most shocking political events in its history. Prime Minister Whitlam, a charismatic and progressive leader, was dismissed from office during the climax of a constitutional crisis that was unlike anything Australia had seen before. You may think, how is it even possible for a democratically elected Prime Minister to get sacked? But there's been another lingering question, and that's whether this oust was simply the result of domestic politics or whether this was something far more sinister. This is the story of how Whitlam's defiance of foreign influence may have cost him his job as Prime Minister, and how a secretive CIA base situated in the heart of the Australian outback may have had something to do with it. Whitlam came to power in 1972 with a bold vision for Australia. He promised to transform the country into a more equitable and independent nation. His government introduced sweeping reforms, universal healthcare, free university education, and indigenous land rights. But Whitlam's ambitions didn't stop at domestic policy. He wanted Australia to break free from its traditional role as a junior partner to the United States. Whitlam was critical of US foreign policy, particularly its involvement in the Vietnam War. He even hinted at reviewing Australia's alliance with the US, a move that would have far-reaching consequences. But nothing symbolized Whitlam's defiance more than his stance on Pine Gap. Pine Gap, a top-secret facility in the Australian outback, was and still is one of the most important US intelligence bases in the world. Officially, it's a joint US-Australia operation. Pine Gap played a critical role during the Cold War, monitoring Soviet missile launches and intercepting global communications. But its operations were shrouded in secrecy, even from the Australian government. Whitlam was determined to change that. He demanded full knowledge of Pine Gap's activities and even threatened to terminate the agreement if the US didn't comply. This didn't sit well with Washington. For the US, Pine Gap was too important to risk, and Whitlam's defiance was a problem that needed to be solved. In 1975, Whitlam's government was plunged into crisis. The opposition-controlled Senate blocked supply, essentially cutting off government funding and forcing a political standoff. Whitlam refused to back down, but on November 11, 1975, the unthinkable happened. Governor-General Sir John Kerr, the Queen's representative in Australia, dismissed Whitlam from office, an unprecedented move in Australian history. The official explanation was that Kerr acted to resolve the political deadlock, but many believe there was more to the story. Kerr had close ties to US intelligence, and declassified documents suggest that the CIA was closely monitoring the situation. Was Whitlam's dismissal a constitutional crisis, or a covert operation to remove a leader who challenged US interests? While there's no smoking gun, the evidence is compelling. Whitlam himself believed that foreign powers played a role in his downfall. In a 1983 interview, he said the CIA was involved in the dismissal. Declassified documents revealed that the CIA was deeply concerned about Whitlam's plans for Pine Gap. One cable even described him as a threat to Western intelligence. Kerr's actions also raised eyebrows. Just weeks before the dismissal, he met with a CIA official in Sydney. Was this a coincidence or part of a coordinated effort to remove Whitlam? We may never know for sure, but the timing is suspicious. Whitlam's dismissal shocked the nation. People took to the streets in protest, and the event remains one of the most controversial moments in Australian history. Whitlam's legacy, however, endures. He is remembered as a leader who dared to challenge the status quo and fight for an independent Australia. As for Pine Gap, it's still operational today, a reminder of the delicate balance between national sovereignty and global alliances. The 1975 crisis raises important questions for Australia about the influence of foreign powers and the price of defiance. Was Whitlam's ouster a soft coup, or was it simply politics as usual? The truth may lie somewhere in between. What do you think? Was Whitlam's dismissal nothing deeper than a constitutional crisis, or something more? Let's discuss in the comments. This is also our first long-form video, so if you enjoyed it, please feel free to support the channel by simply liking, arguing in the comment section, or by subscribing to the channel so that we can bring you more thought-provoking content. This is Yugen. Until next time.